Hi, friends. It's Cheryl from Tutoring with Cheryl and Tech Coach for Tutors at Tech Tutor Innovate. And I am just hopping on here. It is the day after Christmas, and I'm sure that we're all kind of like feeling the woo of the holidays. But I did want to talk to tutors directly today, just for a couple of minutes, and really have you be thinking about technology issues that you might be having during your lessons. And I know that the big thing that always comes up during my lesson is, until I really get to know the students, sometimes I don't know if they're working on a computer, a phone, or a tablet. And while this may not be a difficult thing for you on your end, if you're just the tutor that just shares, PDFs and things like that, this may not be an issue for you. But for me, my students many times have to open up a form, or they have to open up a document, a shared document, or they need to click on a link, or they need to share their screen. And it really does make a difference knowing what they're using, because it comes down to how do you instruct them how to take the next steps. So my suggestion to you is, number one, when you are speaking to the family and you're asking, you want their services, I'm more than happy to help you. Let's talk about how I can help you. And then what kind of technology do you have on your end? That is a great question to ask, because you don't know how they're going to be coming to the meetings. Now, I've even had students join me in the car on the way to the airport. They didn't cancel. They're like, I have a cancellation fee. They didn't want to pay the cancellation fee. So they've joined me on their parents' phone. Well, that's not really a huge issue. Some things that you have to remember are, if you're doing something like math and they're trying to show you how they solved a problem on the screen, that could be difficult. Or if you want them to click on a link and they don't know how to share their screen because you want to see what they're doing on that link, it can really pose some challenges. And those are things that I like to cover inside of my tech workshops. So while I haven't had a ton of them, I like to give tutors hands-on experiences. So an example of something that we could do is, we could be in the meeting and then I could hop onto my tablet and then try to share with you different ways, different challenges that students might face in the meeting. Many times it comes down to, again, the sharing of the screen, not knowing how to find things, not having the apps updated on their tablets. So if you want to use something like an IXL or something like a document or slides or things like that, they can't just hop into those things on a tablet or even on a phone. They have to have some things front loaded. And if you're using something like Google Classroom and they're using a tablet, that also has to be front loaded. And then again, the way that things appear on the screen can be different. So many of us start tutoring and we're in person and we're taking the tutoring bag with us. We've got all of our stuff. And that is absolutely fantastic. And I still will meet with some children like that in person if they come to my home and we meet that way. But I think the big challenge becomes, how are you going to make the jump from meeting in person, and then what are you going to be using in the background to help support them? And right here in my office, my laptop is on a little stand right to the right of me. I've got a larger screen in front of me, and then I have my portable keyboard so that I can type on that, and then I've got my headsets. So, that's kind of what I use. I also have a Huion tablet and a little writing pencil that likes to fall on the floor every single time I grab my headphones. So it's currently on the floor. But those are kind of the things that those things that I need. What does your student need in front of them? I just had a recent conversation with an amazing math tutor, Joanne Ventevogel, and she's like, how do I get them to share the screen? How do they write on the screen? How do they do I provide them with a tablet? I'm like, oh no, absolutely not. There's some workarounds for that. How do they share the screen? How are they going to download a PDF and share it with me? So those are all those things that come up that we don't really plan for or think about when we are planning, just the lesson plan. We think it's going to run really smoothly. And then suddenly we are hit with all these questions like, oh, how do I problem solve? So if I haven't been the person to solve the problem, I've found somebody that's helped me solve it. And so I've always relied on other people or myself spending time to get this done. but you might not have the time. Maybe you're still teaching, or maybe you're homeschooling, or maybe you have another job and you just do tutoring on the side and you don't have time for that. But what you might have time for is to join a virtual group like my group, Tech Hub for Tutors. And that is a paid subscription starting in February, but you may join right now for free. And inside of my paid subscription, you become a member of my Google Classroom. And then there's a self-paced course right now that is up that just teaches you how to use Google Classroom. And while you may not need Google Classroom, a lot of the things that you're going to learn in the Google Classroom training actually can work in Zoom, and they can work just as you're sharing your screen and things like that. But as I'm getting feedback from the group, I'm finding that they want more training on whiteboards. Somebody wants more training on Facebook Meta Planner, and how to batch your content and share that content. Because as a private online tutor, if you're doing this yourself, you know that you are in charge of all of your marketing, all of your billing, all of the teaching, all of the planning, all of the tech. And so sometimes it can become really overwhelming. So my group meets the second Tuesday of the month as a free meeting for anybody. And you can come in, and it's usually about a half hour, and we just explore one topic. And then you have a private a Google Classroom that you're into. Right now, I'm only offering one extra meeting per month, but as moving forward in February, I will be doing probably 2 meetings a month. And those are going to be in the evenings when we might have more available time with not necessarily current tutors, but people that are wanting to transition from in-home to in-person. And we're probably going to be doing those a little bit later, after most of your students are probably already done with their meetings. Because the thing is that you're busy tutoring. You're working when I could potentially have some time for you. But many people are not available during the day either. So to find a happy medium, we'll kind of look around and search where it's going to work for most people. So I invite you to become a member of the Tech Hub for Tutors. It's so valuable, and it gets you really thinking about things like I'm presenting to you. We're really struggling to come up with an answer to some of these really vital questions. So I want to be a resource for you. So I am Cheryl Euling. I am a current tutor at Tutoring with Cheryl. I help students with their reading. I started out with math, and I've transferred over to reading. And now I have developed Tech Coach for Tutors, can't talk today, at Tech Tutor Innovate. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So I hope to see you there. Make sure that you reach out to me if you want to be in our free chat on January 9th at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. That is my next tech chat. And we're going to explore more about whiteboards because I saw some people there. But I'm also willing to spend some extra time chatting with you about any tech questions that you have. And then in February, I'm adding more content to the Google Classroom. So you're going to be getting updated information. So for, I might have misspoke, it's $12.99 a month. I'm not sure. I have another thing for my reading families that's $29.99, but I don't believe I said that. So this is $12.99 per month, and it is a subscription basis, and you get all of that for that very small fee. And I do have to let you know that I don't just have teachers in there or tutors in there. I have college professors in there, and I've got a couple of real estate agents and some music teachers, and I've got a math educator in there. And so I've also got some of my former people or current people that I actually talk with and work with to build up programs for tutors in there, just kind of taking a look at things and experimenting with it. So come along for the ride. I invite you, and I look forward to seeing you there. You can find me on the Tutoring with Cheryl podcast on Spotify, and be sure to look me up on my social media, and make sure also, and I was going to also add this, that you come and visit me at midwesttutor.com, because I have other things there that are waiting, not only for children, but also for tutors just like